Welcome back to another episode of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Explained. This week we're going to be tackling something that's a little bit different and is a little bit complicated and convoluted, but it's making a little bit of waves in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fandom at the moment. Twitter is where it originated and people are kind of bringing it up, and it's now spread to like the Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. subreddit and stuff like that. But basically, this guy called BEJT on Twitter noticed that the official handbook of the Marvel Universe A to Z online appendix was updated this month. And this is a complicated sort of website. I'll link it in the description. It's called www.marvinapp.com, which I think refers like Marvel Universe app or whatever. And this webpage has been updated for the last couple decades. It's not a pretty website. It's clearly just, very basic for what it is. And what it is just to give a list of every Marvel Universe Earth and then, I don't know, give like the definitions exactly what Earth they designate it as unless it gets updated in a future bit of Marvel material. Like say they put an alternate reality here as one universe. If that changes in Marvel Comics later on or in the Marvel TV shows or movies or whatever, they update that on the website. And there's hundreds of universes listed here. And there are two Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. related ones listed here. And one of the ones, the one that came out from this month, says that it's Earth 1985-9, which says diverged from Earth 199999, which we'll discuss that in a minute. People consider that to be the main MCU. But Earth 19999999, when alien Chronicoms traveled back in time to erase S.H.I.E.L.D. from history, Earth 1, I'm just going to say Earth MCU, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. followed them, failed to prevent major changes to history, but managed to change the Chronicoms back to their original timeline. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television series episode New Life from 2019, which that is, in fact, an episode of Season 6, which I'm sure people are mostly familiar with if you're watching this channel. But in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, Episode 13, the episode ended with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. going back to 1931, where then throughout Season 7, they were following the Chronicoms throughout history, trying to fix the timeline and trying to stop them from changing the timeline. And that is what this particular one refers to, is that episode, that timeline. The other Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, or I guess timeline that's listed on this, also comes from that website is Earth 17516, that talks about the episode The Last Day, which was, the dystopian future of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5. Gravitonium-empowered Glenn Talbot broke the Earth apart. S.H.I.E.L.D. took a small group of survivors to the Lighthouse Station, but within a few years they were enslaved by the Kree in 2091 AD. The True Believers' resistance brought Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from the past to Earth MCU into their present, and they helped overthrow the Kree oppressors. S.H.I.E.L.D. then returned to their own time and stopped Talbot from destroying the planet, diverging this reality from Earth MCU. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television series episode The Last Day, which one of the best episodes of the show, in my opinion. It's a great episode. But it doesn't just refer to The Last Day. That refers to the entire, I guess, dystopian future from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5 that you see a lot of in the first half of the season. Great arc. But let's discuss this a little bit, okay? People are pointing to this being like this, once again, reaffirms that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in fact canon to the MCU, is in fact canon to the MCU main timeline, and whatever. And I mean, I don't really know where to begin with this. I'm not really scripting this video, I'm kind of just winging it because I just kind of want to talk through my thoughts rather than having to script it out and, make it be more convoluted than it is. But the MCU does consider itself Earth 616. That's what Marvel Studios' official stance on the main MCU is that it's 616 and not in fact Earth 199999, which it was originally Earth, that designation for the Earth, but it was around, I don't know, was it around like Doctor Strange 2 that they can, or I guess the original rumor started when like Spider-Man Far From Home came out, and Mysterio in that refers to the MCU Earth as 616. But myself and a lot of people included just took that to be a little bit of an Easter egg, and more so, Mysterio lying, because Mysterio in that film wasn't actually from the multiverse the way he claimed he was. But then in later projects such as Doctor Strange 2 and some later stuff after that, Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, a lot of people have involved in Marvel and the MCU have said that no, this is the designation for the MCU. Like, it is Earth 616. It's not what it originally was, which Earth 1999. It's a complicated title. I do think that they probably should not have named it that to begin with, but I don't exactly have a dog in the which Earth is the MCU fight. Like, I know for comic book fans, it's annoying that Earth 616, which is the Marvel Prime comic book universe, now has the same designation as the MCU. I completely understand why that's annoying. For me, it's never really bothered me too much. I more so see it as like the way the DC universe does it, where a lot of Earths, like from a wide looking down standpoint, each Earth has its own designation. But inside each Earth, every Earth kind of considers himself Earth 1. Like there was a bit in The Flash season 2 where characters are coming from different Earths, and we got to Earth 2 and whatever. And then one of the characters from Earth 2 was like, you do know that from my point of view, you're Earth 2 and I'm Earth 1, when we'd been calling them Earth 2 the entire season. That's why I've always seen Marvel as like, instead of it being Earth 1, it's Earth 616, and every universe considers themselves like Earth 616, like the main Prime universe. Um, so I don't really, that doesn't bother me too much. One thing I will say though is that considering Marvel Studios has taken a stance that they are Earth 616, that's one reason why I would be hesitant to believe that this side is anything, because I feel like, apparently now this isn't, I don't even know how to describe it. The guy who created it, Jeff Christensen, it started as a fan site. And then because there was so much work put into it and so much research done by Marvel, he became the assistant for the official handbook of the Marvel Universe publication. And then he was eventually promoted to the head writer and was overseeing like all the official Marvel handbooks. And because of this, he was able to give each universe a designation himself. And he was basically told, yeah, by Marvel, like that's okay, like by Marvel Comics themselves, to the point where in the official handbook of the Marvel Universe A to Z issue, well, I don't know issue, but like number 5, book 5, that book leads to or gives a link to this website. Um, so that like that's an official Marvel publication giving the link to this website, kind of endorsing this website by Marvel. The only thing is that book came out in 2008. So quite a long time ago. This was right after Iron Man and Incredible Hulk came out. Marvel wasn't the juggernaut that they are today. Spider-Man was really popular. That was kind of it. The rest of the characters weren't as popular yet. So that to me makes me feel a little weary about trusting this sort of thing, because this is just kind of a Marvel writer who was a huge fan and made up his own kind of ideas for what everything was, and then was hired by Marvel to include these things in actual Marvel stuff. I don't know if Marvel Studios would endorse this sort of thing or whatever. I think Marvel Studios still probably considers this mostly a fan project, if I was to take kind of a crazy guess about it. Maybe not, though. Maybe we're going to find out the Marvel Studios completely endorses this sort of thing. I just think, as much as I want to use this as a consideration that Marvel is considering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon properly, I think that calling it the Earth 199999 thing is a little bit of proof that Marvel Studios doesn't exactly favor this sort of thing, because I think if this was an official Marvel Studios endorsed thing, it would call it Earth 616 instead of Earth 199999, whatever. Just Earth MCU. Anyway, this is a brief sort of video. Probably came across a lot more confusing and convoluted than I intended it to. I didn't know how to approach this topic. I thought it was something different and something a little bit interesting to talk about, but I didn't know, what to exactly do with it, or what way to describe it, or what way to really make it make sense, because it's even a little confusing to me, where I don't fully understand a lot of this stuff to do it. Like, I was familiar with this website from a while ago. I think the first time an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing got added to it, which I think was like almost exactly a year ago. I think that's when I first became aware of it, and I hadn't been aware of it before that. And as soon as you click onto the site, it does just feel very fan made, where it's like it's more like I don't know, like a bibliography or something like that for somebody else. It feels like you're looking at the research somebody did for the actual work, rather than you're actually looking at the actual work. Like, I don't know, it clearly a lot of work's been put into it. Clearly it's a very impressive thing. Like, it's crazy that the amount of time that this must have taken to put together. I can't even comprehend that. Clearly the person knows more about Marvel than I, or probably anyone else ever will. Like, like this is 90% comic book timelines, a little bit of the movies, even the games are included in here and stuff like that. It's just mind-boggling to have this amount of knowledge in your brain about Marvel. Like, I'm jealous, honestly. I wish I had this sort of knowledge about the Marvel universe. But all that said, that doesn't exactly say to me that this is confirmation of anything. I don't know. I know I've been saying that a lot lately, and I know it's probably a little disappointing to people who are watching these videos, that a lot of my recent Canon videos have been more so like, did Marvel Studios exactly confirm that, or did we just hear something from one person who said something? You know, like, I wish I could be more, I don't know, positive about the whole thing, but I think that this definitely doesn't feel as solid as a lot of other stuff we've heard in the past, you know? So we'll see. I mean, we still have those Brad Winterbottom comments from last year where he talked about how the, Marvel television's always going to be considered canon to him, and that they're going to find ways to stick things in. And with the Netflix shows becoming canon, it really is more likely now than it ever has been. But we'll see. We still have to wait and see. I wouldn't be using this as more proof to anyone. I think that there are a lot of other things you can say to prove to canon deniers why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon. I wouldn't go using this as proof to them because, like, when I clicked onto this website first, I was like, this is our we gotcha. This is our smoking gun about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. being canon. I wouldn't be sending this to people saying that this is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, maybe consider subscribing. There's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. videos every week. Working on a Daredevil video at the moment. Not the one perfect episode thing. I'm working on a different Daredevil video. I'm hoping we'll do pretty well. I'm putting a lot of effort into it. And then also one perfect episode, which is a new series I'm working on. That is every so often, maybe every month, every 2 weeks. I'm going to pick an episode of television I consider perfect and make a longer form video that kind of dissects it and discusses it and researches it and talks about it and all that sort of stuff. So look out for that. If you're not new to the channel, maybe a like, a share, a comment, all that sort of stuff would be really, really, really appreciated. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.